markets recap with Sean. I got it right.
That's right, it's a recap show. Thank you so much to everybody joining me here one more time tonight. We're gonna have a very special guest coming through. We're excited. But yeah, what a wild day. Thank you again for watching. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe here on this stream. It's a completely different one, so we want to keep that going. And thank you so much for all the likes and the support as we continue here and have a lot of fun. Today, though, we can put the board up if you want at some point there. I think it should go up almost immediately as soon as we start the show. So let's do that because we got the death clock that has to start going as well pretty soon. But we don't have many earnings up on board today. So there's really nothing. I was looking to see if anything was going to hit. If something does hit, of course, we do have Benzinga Pro, which is right here. We'll call that up and make sure that if anything flies through here, we'll find it out. We do have a post-market scanner as well, brought to you by Trade Ideas right here. If anything hits, we're going to find it out right now into the aftermarket. But nah, so far so good here. You know, Fastenal, anything. I already looked, man. There isn't much happening today. So we'll pay attention to that, and if something flies through, you'll let me know on the chat. It's good to see everybody's here again, man. We're always going to go to top chat. I'm going to go to live chat so we don't miss anybody here again. Yo, Daryl. Daryl's here as well. Jason's here. Thank you so much. He did nail. Oh, did I say recap show? Well, there it is too. So Neil and I both nailed it today. This is not the aftermarket. This is the recap show, and thank you so much for watching again here today. Let's quickly go over some sectors, man. Hello to UNG. Who's in that gas trade today? Because if it's you, then you hit it today because that's a really nice move. Let's go over to the daily chart real quick on UNG. Yeah, I mean, it's been making moves for a minute here. There's the 50-period moving average. Let me just double check that is true because we do have that up here. Yeah, yes. Oh, you know what? I got to change that. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yesterday I made it pink down there. Didn't adjust it. Nice move up off the 50 again. Boom goes that. You're coming up to $7 again on UNG, going all the way back, obviously, into September. So watch out for that. Just a couple days, hitting a new high there for UNG. Not a new high, but taking this level would be pretty awesome. 735. You know, stocks like Tellurian. Let's see what that's coming through there. There it is right there, Tellurian, T-E-L-L on that one. No, that's T-E-L-L, we said. Right there. Let's see what that stock has been doing. Yeah, so again, from 117 up to 127. We'll watch Tellurian as it breaks through 130. That's going to be a key level there for Nat Gas. And of course, you guys could trade FAZ, things like that, either in Toronto or on the NASDAQ, New York Exchange, Amex Exchange to trade something a little more exciting if you're looking at, you don't want to trade the Nat Gas contract. You can definitely look at that. Oil today, we talked about that gushing through with more news from the Saudis. Look at OIH now breaking through. We don't have the Nat Gas or the oil contract on here, but just for a stock like an XOM or something, nice move to the upside on XOM. Look at this, man, clearing out from the daily and just still upside on this name, right? 116 coming in on XOM. Good break today. Let's just check out what XOM looks like on the daily, or that is the daily, on the 5-minute. What trades did we miss today on XOM? It looks like, yeah, that break there of 116.50 or so. Nice move ending the day at 117 on XOM as it's just cruising around there. Bad candle, wick bottom, 113 or so. CVX is another name that we really like as well. That coming into play. This one hasn't broke yet. Look for CVX maybe in the next tomorrow to break that 167, maybe 168 to the upside. Let me see what this looks like on a daily chart as well here on CVX. Okay. Yeah, not super exciting. All right, XLE. Hey, man, we had Michael Noss on the other day. He and I went back and forth. Looks like we're both going to be at the same spot right now talking about taking profit on XLE. But either way, nice move. Ooh, TAN is up. Hey, what about Enphase? Enphase got knocked down. This is almost like a lightning round right here as we go. Enphase today up 1%. That's real nice. Trying to get off the bottom here. So this could be an interesting name. Shout out to Reliable Rudy in the chat. You've been talking about Enphase and picking some of this up. I still like the name, but haven't stepped in yet to Enphase. I don't really know what I'm waiting for. Maybe a take of this 50 period. But then I'm giving up so much, right? That's $150. Let's let Enphase work itself out. What was down today again? What goes up must come down, and it's almost a back-to-back day there. Oops, I zoomed in the wrong way. No, now it's going to go the other way. Hold on, quickly change this over to a 60-minute chart on the NASDAQ, and then change it back over to a daily, and we'll see if we can zoom back in on this trade. What am I zooming the wrong way for again? I don't know, something is not zooming properly. But the NASDAQ today and the triple Qs makes that move down. Okay, come on, zoom the other way. I'm holding down control. It's just taking a while to do this. I apologize, man. We need to get a better computer over here for sure. But there goes the NASDAQ and the triple Qs down that 1.1%. Look, tomorrow we have CPI, right? At 8:30, that's going to change a lot. I don't know because we're already at 93% on the Fed rate tool, so we could have to watch out for that. But the point is that you're right at the 50 period. If I can zoom in on this, it just keeps on going the other way. Like, I don't know, both ways I'm going on this is zooming around. But the 50 period is right there on that. XL Clay, and what about the home builders, man? We talked about this with Uncle Warren coming through. $80, a pretty key level. Watch out for the home builders slipping through 77.50. That's XHB. So if you don't want to buy Lennar or Pulte or DHI, you don't have to. You can just buy XHB, and we'll see what happens right there with this sector. But it is making a move down with mortgage rates at like 20-year highs, not getting any better. Again, remember for the November contract or November meeting, we are expected it's 50-50 whether or not we stay or raise. So if you raise, that's not helping out the real estate sector, right? And so watch out for that to come through on XHB right now on that one. So, all right, not much happening, man. The SPY was about 0.6. Oh, you know what helped out the SPY today was, and we didn't look at this enough on the show, yo, what's up with banks, man? We talked about that earlier. I'm not sure what the bank headline was there today. I think there was a little bit of Fed money getting thrown around, but the XLF, which is a Spider Select Fund right there again, everything is at this 50 period, man. So we are, again, like no matter which way I hit the zoom on this, and I have to apologize, we are at the 50 period moving average. How can I zoom in? There must be something wrong with this mouse, to be honest with you at this point, but XLF, nice move on that. So, all right, I want to talk about one earnings name because let's go over to the next topic if we can. It's going to be breaking news, but it's not really. And last night we had a play on Oracle, right? And I mean, Oracle came out yesterday. We actually liked the report early, and then it faded out late. And then we talked about it trying to hold this 120 area right there. How dare I try to, you know, maybe if I jump this out, we'll have, okay, now I've made a complete mess on this. All right, so this is, let's go to the daily on Oracle right now. There it is. So here's the 120 level. It didn't hold. And we talked about if that didn't hold, we'd come into some trouble, right? Now you're all the way back down here into 111, 110, but look where we finished the day here at 109 and change, trying to hold these levels. So Oracle was an interesting name, and I'm gonna close this because I could talk about it on our own platform here. This was, and again, we have some bad wicks on there, so hopefully it's not too distracting. The real trade here for Oracle was right around here at 10 o'clock. Look, let the name go to the downside and then try to buy up some of this, right? So it bases out there at 110, then makes the move all the way back into the 200 period at 112.60. After that, it basically faded the rest of the day until we got back to this 107.50 area. Wow, 107.50, like that's pretty low. You're right into this area right there. That should have been bought up for sure. There's 107.50, right? Bounces up the rest of the day, hits view up again at 110.75, and then fades out. So what we're here to talk about is just this VWAP trade at 110. Could have been had. Nice move back down to the downside there on Oracle. And man, we talked about this, and I want to bring this up to everybody's look right here. I posted this this morning at 9:04, okay, on X, I was going to say on Twitter. But it's the second worst reaction in 20 years post earnings here for Oracle. And that's when Oracle was down 10%. When you hit 107, man, you were down 15% at that time in Oracle. So if you just look here, I mean, it's pretty bad, but these are the full one-day moves, right? Here's the move back at this time. Well, actually, it was December in 11 where we went down 11%. Nice moves to the downside, and today we take that over with a down, what did we finish down? 13.5%, but a big miss there. Miss on revenues, miss today on everything, and guided lower. That's the key. We guided lower. After that, they didn't even guide in 13 and 18, but again, today they also guide lower, which sends this name reeling down to the downside. So shout out to Bespoke, who brought this to our attention. And again, we always talk about this on the show. When there's blood in the streets, Generally, those are good buying opportunities, but we saw today with Oracle that it made that nice move down. Now, the key thing about this is it gave me another trade, right? And we posted there on the sticky note today early, Tom Brady, that we wanted to talk a little bit about, oh, where is it? That's yesterday. When we had yesterday's, there's a sticky note right here. And I wanted to short, again, Microsoft. And again, just because Oracle had a bad quarter, mentioned the cloud into some weakness. So we know there's dealings there. So what we really did all day was short Microsoft. And it was an absolute banger, this Microsoft short. We actually wanted to also look at Amazon and Google. The Google short was great, just didn't give it to us until the end of the day. And look at Microsoft, though. Microsoft was so nice, we hit it more than twice, but there's the second time hitting it. First time was all throughout the morning. We wanted that 337 level. Again, just to gain some of these pre-market levels in yesterday's close. So we shorted it so much, man. It was a big win for us all the way back down. Took some out at 334. That's $3. Then we re-shorted against VWAP again right there at 334 again, taking this down to 331 and change as we beat up on some cloud names today because of Oracle. So it was a downside move on Google. Let's just check out Google quickly because this was a trade that we had. I always think it's very important that you trade names that could be in play with sympathy, right? Not only was the NASDAQ down, we knew we were going to have a little bit of a bad day from Apple. And again, how did you know a bad day from Apple? Well, it was up yesterday and really rallying, but why was it rallying into this Wonderlust event? I mean, Worldwide Developer Conference, who really cares? It's a release of a new phone. Everyone was worried about the price of Apple when it was coming out, or the new iPhone. Comes out, I think it was $100 more for the Pro and in line with the iPhone 15. And people didn't like that. But here's the Google sell-off here again. So again, Sticky Note Nation, stand up because we had 137 short in there. And that's what we wrote down. Look at this, really faded off into the close, giving you basically $2 worth of a move. And then the one name that I did not trade was Amazon. This was another name that I was really favored to short, and it didn't really play out on the short today. Again, you know, they're kind of protected by their retail side, which we really, really like. But the AWS kind of fell down today, 1.29%. But again, it had that huge move, taking out pre-market highs right there back at 143. But look at that drop down in there on Amazon. A big move on the day for Amazon. As I look over there, it's about that time. It's time for Trade Talk. So let me hit this. We have a very special guest. We mentioned a couple times, it's actually on the board. So no surprise there. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat because Obi, you are now here. You had a break today on the midday show.
I did.
I think Adam did an absolutely fantastic job personally.
Yes, sir.
You know, I'm my favorite. No, I don't favor anybody, but I like it when you're on the show for sure. You have great talk. And the thing is, we just talked about Amazon, and you and I chatted a little bit on chat today. We didn't prep for much of this. I said, Obi, take it away. What exactly do you want to talk about? Maybe what you were looking at today. And I don't know, that Amazon had that crazy move at about 1 o'clock. I don't know if that was news related or not, but I'm going to throw the mic over to you. And again, Obi's been on the floor now for how long?
Just over a year.
Just over a year, so you start to find your way a little bit, I feel like, especially.
Yeah, getting comfortable.
Getting comfortable, that's what it's all about. Let's go. What do you want to talk about, Obi?
So we talked about like I didn't take any trades during the Apple event. I think at 1 o'clock we kind of had the floor meeting and stuff. So I missed a lot of that price action, but I did take a trade on Apple today because I knew it was in play because of the meeting and everything. So out the open, I saw that it was catching a really strong sell.
Okay.
Right? So I was like, okay, I didn't really interact with it until a little bit later. I caught it a little bit further into its trend. I was looking at 176. 176 was kind of a level on the chart.
Okay.
A couple of weeks ago, it kind of bounced and wicked around that level, a little over under. So I was like, okay, if we're going to sell off this heavy, what's the likelihood that we're going to push into 176? That was kind of the idea I was working with, and I was like, okay, when I did get to it, it was all the way at 177. So I got to it a little bit later, but I saw that it was keeping in the trend, and when it kind of failed that 177,
so were you hoping for a bid there at 176? Because if you
yes,
okay. I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page there because we didn't trade until 175 long.
Yeah, okay.
Which I actually sent to you there in chat as well when we hit that. But why don't you, do you have the marks on there for your chart?
I do. I have the Apple chart pulled up right here.
Can you get to that, Fabian? Oh, wrong screen.
Other one?
Is the other one work or no? Do we have to move it over?
Oh, do I have?
On the left, most left.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
All right, there it is.
Okay,
there it is. Now we got it.
All right, cool. So, so right here, so we saw that Apple was in a downtrend, right? You can see the trend a little bit better over here on like a 3-minute. So you can see that it's a pretty clear trend to the downside, and we do stop on the one just above 176. So I have 176 as a level charted, and then I'm like, okay, if we're going to sell off so heavy, I'm looking for interest in and around 176. So how I kind of played into that idea was I saw that 177 was kind of near that top of the trend. I saw the rejection of that 177, got in short, added in some more, and then I was looking for reasons to cover, reasons to buy. We know that, or I was expecting that 176 to potentially have some liquidity, and on the initial test coming down so hard, it did show up with some liquidity there. As you can see, the trend started to bend to the side, and it was a little bit over here for a while. So I have found some reasons to cover right into the 176. So yeah, we just took that trade from there. But as you can see, I totally missed that other trade to the upside, as 176 did catch a bid, and I could have easily reasons to buy, reasons to cover, could have turned that into a reason to get long off that 176. And as you can see, we did quite a number off that 176 on the initial test.
I think it's really important, something that you said there, because those in the chat, and thank you for all the love in the chat. I mean, they love you, and that's great. And it was just more about Obi, is the fact that you switched over to Apple today, and I think that, not that you switched over, I'm sure, did you trade Amazon at all? Or?
I did trade Amazon.
Right, okay, so what I was getting at is, we talk about it all the time on the show, and obviously, you know, you get the watch list, and we talk about that, and you've been on the show with me for hours when we were filling in for Neil last week. The thing is that you got to trade names that are in play.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that that's great that you're adding that to your toolbox, looking for key levels, because if there's no interest in the name, then maybe that 177 just cuts through like butter because there's nobody there to play it. No one's looking at it. I mean, Apple's always looked at, and so is a stock like Amazon. But I do think with increased volume and increased activity, I really like that move going over there to Apple. Did you ever consider looking at like an Oracle or something that's an earnings play? Or are you just more comfortable sticking with maybe 3 or 4 names?
So I did take a trade on Oracle, if we want to talk about that one. Sure, yeah.
Hey man, it's your floor.
So, all right, so we can talk about Oracle. Let me just pull that up.
Let's go.
So I think I took a quick scalp on this name. Oh right,
Was it a short or a long? Because there's also that SSR bounce play, right? So
I took the short.
Okay, I like that better. Yeah.
The initial idea was I wanted to interact with the 110. Okay, so we have some wicks here, but
that's okay. We can get it up.
Yeah. So.
Is it bad?
No, I can try to fix it real quick. But yeah, so let's see if I can get rid of some of these wicks and get the chart looking a little bit better for you guys.
I won't worry about that. You have grid lines on the chart, eh? That's pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty
okay,
nice.
So right here. So I wanted to interact with the 110. Again, similar idea, where it's trending pretty strongly to the downside. Now, sure, I missed the trade over here, the 113 pre-market low break, but I wanted to interact with the 110. So I took a quick scalp off the rejection of that 110. Let me just pull that back down. Off the rejection of the 110, and then just took it into the 109.5. But the trade, I think Max had this one, a great trade through the 110, back through the 110.
Yes.
He took that one. So I was like, well, yeah, that was definitely a reason. I found reasons to cover, reasons to buy at the 109.5. And then when you re-break a level that was just good to short at, or that looked good to short at, I think that's definitely a reason to get long. And I did miss that trade there. I could have definitely executed a little better in and around that 110 on the long, but we caught a piece of the short there. So that's how I traded Oracle today.
I mean, Oracle's a great trade. I really like that. I mean, there's a couple plays when a stock is down that much. You get the SSR bounce play. And then I really like when it levels off there. Then you can finally get a little bit of a change of direction right there. And we talked about it bouncing off of some VWAP as well. So, all right, man. I mean, yeah, Obi is the next GOAT. So I think
don't
you're
know about that, but
I think you're already goated, man. So don't even worry about that one. What chart software is that? So that's our software, I believe. So we can actually get the grid lines on there as well. So Pro 8 here at Day Trade the World. You guys can all register. Go to daytradetheworld.com and grab that. Okay, Obi, I said you'd only come on for a couple minutes. So does anybody have any questions? Maybe Obi will hang around here, and if we see a question, you mind sticking around for a couple more minutes?
Sure, yeah.
All right, we'll see if there's anything there for Obi. I just want to quickly come up with another name here, because what in the world, Obi, maybe you saw this. This is kind of like stock blitz. What do we have next on the board there? A trade review. Okay, well, I'm gonna just hit this right now. Let's do a stock blitz real quickly here, because I want to talk a little bit about Lululemon. Like, hello, today Lululemon is actually, that's wrong. It's not down 1.06%. We were down 4%. It was a nice move downside there for Lululemon off of $100, off of 400 there. And I just want to talk about this. There was presenting today at the Goldman Sachs conference. So I don't know what exactly happened there, but they didn't talk about something nice. And there it goes, a nice downside move. I mean, we could find the story for you and talk about that. But let me just call up our trade ideas. It looks a little bit better on that than it does on this. But here's Lululemon with a big flush to the downside there. If you're going to check out a daily chart for Lulu, just coming back into these levels. I don't mind this buy around here, 385 or so. We got to get back down to the 50-period moving average. Lululemon flushing for sure. And on the back of Nike, I feel like, as well as some of these names that are really producing in China there, Obi, they're not safe, man. And we've talked about that a little bit, trading Alibaba and some of those names. That's where my concern comes from, is the fact that we're over in China, and if there's anything that ever happens, although Tesla's kind of bucking the trend with that sort of China news, but Starbucks downside, Nike downside as well there. I don't know if you've been looking at any of these names, Obi, but there's Starbucks as well right now looking to break lower, lower, lower. Like, you're back to November lows here on some of these names. Starbucks was a name that they were opening like 2,500 stores like a week or something like that in China, some ridiculous number. It's probably not that number, but you get a lot of this back in. Have you read anything about some of those worries in China at all, Obi, or you think they're a little bit overextended at all?
Nothing too much really. I don't really follow that news too much, but yeah, that's maybe something I should be looking into. But I do know that the concerns are definitely there. But the thing is, I'm usually skeptical about some of the concerns that are being pushed by like media outlets and stuff. But because usually if you create some sort of a bias around that, I find that the trading may not, the trade may not follow through with that bias. So it's like, I like to stick with just the chart and like the level 2 off of that. Like, if I can react to whatever sentiment people think might come in with that news, then that's a little bit more comfortable for me, I guess.
Yeah, actually, the reason why I hit that bang there, because that's exactly what you want to talk about, right? Is you want to think about, what is the market going to react to something specifically, right? And if it's breaking down through levels, we've had Michael Noss on the show and talk about, doesn't even really care too much about the news. Just what are the levels? Is it breaking? Because news lies, like you just said, right? Sometimes we are worried. I don't want to say lies, but can get influenced. Well, I mean, let's call it what it is. Sometimes the honest truth won't get reported based on who you're reading, right? And so price, though, is
key.
Truth.
Yeah.
And key.
Yeah, the truth is on the tape.
Truth is
on the tape. That's all I'm going to say.
Damn, Obi, damn. You want to talk about writing a book, man? It should be this guy right now. Okay, CPI tomorrow. How about that? So that's not something, generally I'll trade the TQs. Something like that, something that's a little bit more aggressive, that's not overly priced. It's 20, 23, 25 bucks. I don't know what it is these days. Is that ever a trade that you've looked at? For me, it's a little early at 8:30. Not early in the morning, but just, for trading equities, it's a little early to step into an equity name. Right. So that's why I'll go with sort of the futures. Any experience for you on that?
So on my time on the floor, on the CPI trade, I think as our class kind of came in, the CPI trade started to kind of cool off a little bit. All right. But I found success in playing a little bit of momentum and a little bit of reversion if there is an overreaction in and around 8:30. But yeah, no, there hasn't been too much lately, but quick scalps I've found some success with.
Yeah, that's funny because the last couple of times I find that the trend is your friend. It goes, but then all of a sudden, you know, right, it'll swing the other way and swipe down. So, all right, thank you so much, Obi, for coming through, man. It's always a blast.
Thank you for
having
having
me. We need that
me.
props emoji there, but it's always great to have you on the last second. So thank you so much, Obi. And I know you normally stay back. And what do you normally do? You normally log your trades and you look over some of the screen recordings, I guess, or not really?
I save the screen recordings for that's what I do at home.
Okay.
So, but here I'll write
Netflix
my
and chill. Instead, it's like I think of something for that.
I gotta think
on top of my head right
now. But yeah, no, I do journaling. So like I'll journal the trades I had. Did I follow the plan? Did I get tilted? There are certain times I'm finding myself where I get triggered by like getting stopped out of a trade, and then that kind of follows through into my next trade. Being aware of that, like just being conscious of how my trading day went and taking note of that, because like I'm not gonna remember that at the end of the week, at the end of the month. But I do want to note that down so that at the end of the week when I sit down, I'm like, okay, these are the problems that I've faced during the week, and maybe we can come up with some structure to make the next week a little better. So that's what the journaling is for.
This man's only 1 year in, so wait till you see 1.5 years in, and then we can all have a ride in your Lambo. But you know, we'll ride in Max's for now.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you have to have a spaceship or something. The kind of levels you're on. That is Trader Talk. Thank you so much, Obi. All right, man. Thanks. That's awesome. All right. So that was that. Quickly on to the next topic because I'm seeing that the death clock is come through. Oh no. Topic previous. There it is. Disney. All right, let's talk about Disney real quick. Yesterday we did a strategy session where I went over the plays and what I was really looking at in more depth. But today, running out a little bit of time, but let's just do a trade review. I want to try to do this every single day. And Disney was a top stock for me. And this is just scalp nation, right? The minute we took this out here at $83.90, we just waited for it to blast through $84. So again, this is an early trade. We don't take them normally this early. I guess it's 9:40. We let it sort of settle down. The better trade for Disney would have been just taking these pre-market levels, but I wasn't sure which way this was going to go today as the NASDAQ was down, remember, to start the day, and it was kind of down the rest of the day. And not that Disney would follow NASDAQ, but just a little uncertain. We talked about that deal that they had and just wasn't sure where we were going to go. But if we took out that 84 or 83.80, we wanted to wait for another move because that was going to be our out, right? And he also did baseline there a little bit. So now I can zoom in a little bit so you can know why we took that trade, right? There's the break of 84. It came back in. First outs there in the 20s because our out was going to be this 85 area, right? So 1-to-1. Then we get it back up here into the 60s. Then we noticed it turning around, and this is where we just sort of got out, all around the 50s with a nice outside move. Then once it breaks, there's the stop that we talked about at the 50 period there. It was actually breaking that 85 level, so I'm wrong. We were only trying to take about 15 cents worth of risk. There's the breakdown. This was a mistake because that was the pre-market levels that we were looking at. We went short there and got out, so that's a mistake. But then this is what happened. These are the trades right here. I know, that stupid alarm is going to go off. I'm not even looking at the clock right now. Right there, when it started to sort of gain some momentum to the downside, we really based out down there at 83. And that's where we let it settle. We actually saw it late. We get it right there. Then it starts to blast up. It's so nice. We liked it again on that move, back up through 20s. Again, respecting the 50-period moving average. Take that. And then as you can see, it goes all the way up to 84.20. This is all with minimal risk, right? And then finally, at the end of the day, comes in on those imbalances. We get it out at 83.50 off an 83 long. But for me, it was Disney. The tale of two stories, right? One is the break, and then one is the support and resistance down there on Disney. So I'm really proud of this trade for two reasons. One, we were patient, waited for that break, took it. And the second one here, Fabian, was because we made that move down, we were able to base it out at pre-market levels, take the long on a stock that, hey, we're right, man. It was positive today. So that was a good trade right there for Disney. Okay, next topic is Trade Blitz and Roll Call, one of my favorite stocks. Did I put down Trade Blitz or Stock Blitz? It's supposed to be Stock Blitz and Roll Call. So there it comes in there. Let's quickly see who's still here. As we're running out of time, we have 37 seconds to go, man. PLTR comments. You got it, Mud. You're the first name there. That's going to be the Stock Blitz. Will be for PLTR. We'll look at that in just a minute, but let's go quickly here. All right, who's here right now? It's Billy Bob. It's Peter. Oh, it's also, before I forget, can't ever forget Super Chats, man. We got to shout out those of you that gifted today or any fan funding. Thanks, Austin. 10 Trader TV Live memberships. So a big bang for that. Thank you so much. Super chats all abound today. Apri, I remember yours. Sweetie Pie, Joseph, Greg, Habitual, Nick W. Willis is here. What you talking about, Willis? I did the same joke on the main show. That's not even really a joke. Dion is here. Austin, thank you so much again. Chris, Nicole, Aaliyah, I really like that name. Really pretty name. Hayes Records has been here from day one. And Ben, thank you so much too. Bears vs. Bulls for doing that. Praz here as well. Dan is here. Starvin Like is here. Starvin Like Marvin. Austin. Jay Lee is Ryan. Zana's here. WeWork. Yeah, we'll talk about WeWork tomorrow, man. We did that as well. Although I do want to see WeWork real quick. I did shout out Mud that we talk about Palantir, but let's just see if WeWork did anything because it was moving around. WeWork was a name when I was talking about getting some puts when this was up here near $6, $7. Wonder if those catch. I don't have as much experience in the put game or in the options game as I would like to be able to talk a little bit more about that. Deltas, gammas, bunch of Greek stuff, Obi, as it goes. But okay, Delta, Theta, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Shout out to everybody that's, tomorrow, no, not tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Chris Bretcher from Simple Trading. Thursday, we have Miss Danielle Shea. We'll answer all of your questions. Look, all right, what do you want to know about Palantir? Look, I really like Palantir. Let's call it like it is. I still think this 14 level, worth taking some longs if we get back down there, which I do think we get. I do think the market will flush a little bit after next Wednesday when the Fed comes and kind of just probably says nothing. Then you'll see an interest rate increase happening the next time. I think that sparks a downside move. So I'd say be patient for Palantir. Snowflake's been a good trade as well. Let's look at a 20-minute chart for PLTR, see if we can expand this out a little bit. Oh, we're not, okay, I was going to say, don't tell me we're not getting the data. Look, it's had a hard time breaking through 16, right? You get some big movements up there. That high is only 1630. Unfortunately for everybody that's here, I'm a little biased to the short when I'm starting to see things like this. There's way more resistance up top than there is down here. Down here is 14, but because we're at 1560, I think any opportunity to short Palantir in and around 1650 right there is probably pretty good. It gave us that today. We missed it. I still feel like we float down into $14, but I like Palantir. See you, Miss Cat. I like that leather coat where it's getting chilly for sure as we come through. But Palantir, look, it's a good name. If you want to get a name that's a little more aggressive, you can check out our friend Snowflake. That's another big data name. They've been trading really well. But again, a pullback into today. Snowflake, look at this on the daily chart. Looking pretty good up here to 170 and definitely holding this 150 area. So I'd say Snowflake and Palantir, wait for pullbacks. Snowflake a little healthier above the 50-period moving average. And I didn't notice that for Palantir. Still above, but floating around. So Palantir, better dip by opportunity. Snowflake, better on the momentum for the break long. Thank you so much, Obi. It's been a blast. You can go back to the double screen if you have it there quickly. He's still here. It was a great day. You know, thank you for joining us again here, Obi. And I want to say thank you to everybody. And again, for you, really like that green shirt on a red day, though. Yeah. You know, so I won't blame you for it.
I mean, counter trend, right?
Oh, look, counter trend. Yeah, trading against the trend. That's what Obi does. Thank you so much, man. Look, if you're not hitting the like button, now is your time to do that. I feel like we've had a great show again today. More guests tomorrow. Tomorrow's hump day. We'll be trading. I'll talk to Obi about Amazon tomorrow. It was a great one today. Great trade on Apple. Great trade on Oracle. Thank you so much for watching. This is the recap show. I'm Sean Katina. That's Obi. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. See you at 8:30. Ciao.
Nice.
Ooh, I like that one at the end. Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah.